Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. When a man who shouldn't have the job he has fails to do it properly, admits he can't succeed in it, and then presents information that is factually wrong, you have to ask two questions. One, why has he got the job at all? And two, why has he got any job? The man's obviously a moron. This particular moron, of course, is Jamie Heben. He is the Minister for Independence. Independence that even the High Court said, or the Supreme Court said, is not within the bailiwick of the Scottish Parliament. He then keeps producing all these nice shiny booklets and saying, oh, we'll do this and we'll do this and we'll do something else. And within them contains fiction, absolute works of fiction. And he's been picked up on it and he's been slapped down on it. And all the experts are calling him a fool, because of course a fool he is. But he's an expensive fool, a fool that should no longer be in a position and for which there actually should be no position. So we're going to take a look at this to see why Jamie Heben needs to go, because this latest one is showing his complete lack of understanding of how an independent Scotland would work. Not under their rules, under international law. Here goes. Jamie Heben slapped down over no hard border Skexit claims as Nats get desperate. Well, they've been desperate for the last 100 years. Why all of a sudden? Both the Independence Minister and his boss, Humza Yousaf, suggested there would be no goods border between England and Scotland if an independent Scotland joined the EU, despite experts and even Nicola Sturgeon saying this would be the case. Well, of course it's the case. The EU has rules and you've got to have a border between the EU and non-EU states. Any claim to the contrary shows that he has no concept or grasp of international law or of treaty law or of even the EU law. There would have to be a hard border for goods, customs and travel. You would need a passport to enter the EU. These fools don't even understand the basic concepts of what they're trying to do. It's no wonder that they're failing so... I was going to say failing so hard. Failing so well should be the answer there. Of course there's a hard border. You try walking into France without a passport. You try taking goods across the channel without customs papers. Doesn't happen, does it? The SNP claims there would be no hard border between England and Scotland in the event of a Skexit and joining the EU, and this has been slapped down by critics. Independence Minister Jamie Heben said there would not be good checks between the two countries. Why? Because he wants it to be so? I think that's not how EU rules work. If you sign up, you need a hard border, and it's got to go across the whole of the border. You don't just walk willy-nilly between two countries. But this flies in the face of what is written in the Scottish Government's own independent prospectus. He wrote these bloody things. He's got these nice shiny brochures, and in there it states that there would have to be borders, and now he's claiming there isn't because he's trying to basically lie to the people to say, look, please vote for us. It's a utopia. It's fantastic. There won't be any problems, even though we know there are. But he's putting it out there just in case the illiterate fools that can't read but yet manage to vote for the SNP will continue to vote for this nonsense. The economic paper launched last autumn. It's hardly a paper, is it? Brochure. Launched last autumn, read, actual physical checks would likely only be undertaken on one or two main trunk routes between England and Scotland. That's not how the EU works. You cannot have any leakage. But now it seems like the SNP executive have backtracked on this due to a hugely negative reaction from those they need to persuade to vote for Skexit. In fact, you would need a hard border. You would need a fenced border across the whole there, from North Sea to Irish Sea. Otherwise, people just walk straight in and out. That is not a secure border. You have no idea who's coming in. You've got no control on who's coming in. Either way, from Scotland to England or England to Scotland, there is absolutely nothing stopping England putting up a border wall and forcing people to come through, say, 3 or 4 routes, but where they have to have passport control and goods checks and customs papers and duty paid. Good luck, Scotland. Good luck. These people are now lying to your face. They've already published the fact that they say it has to happen, and now they're telling you to your face that it won't. They are liars, but we know they are lies. Experts, including Professors Anthony Salamoni and Nicola McEwen, have previously admitted that there would be some sort of land border due to good checks on products travelling to an EU area to a non-EU area and vice versa. But Mr Hebburn overruled them in a speech to SNP supporters in Dumfries on Saturday because he knows that the truth was just unpalatable and would see them fail. So when the truth is awkward, what do? You lie. He said, I'd like to assure you that in relation to the important issue, our prospectus papers to come, as we take them forward, will focus on that matter. He added that Scotland would remain part of the common travel area and it was not outlandish or extraordinary or radical idea. Now let's say it was part of the common travel area. That would be the common travel area to the EU. There is no such thing as the common travel area for the United Kingdom. There is one treaty, the Common Travel Area, which is held with the Republic of Ireland. That is a treaty that dates back to 1926, to Ireland's initial independence. It was backed up in an international treaty, the Good Friday Agreement. Scotland has neither of these things. He is making claims for things that just simply don't exist. There is no common travel arrangement between England and Scotland. Now, if he wants to arrange one and talk about one, that's an entirely different matter. But as an EU member, it would have no bearing. And indeed, the common travel arrangement with South of Ireland and Great Britain was a big problem with Brexit. And it was only the fact that this 1926 treaty predated the EU rules that it was allowed at all. Any subsequent treaty would have to be done with the eyes of the EU involved and therefore would most definitely not be allowed. So again, Hebburn, the liar, lying to your faces. What is wrong with these people that they cannot tell the truth? Oh yes, that's right, the truth. That's what's wrong with it. Hebburn stated, that's a state of arrangements that the UK and Ireland have enjoyed for over a century, so take no nonsense from the fear-mongering that we hear from Mr Jack and others in the Conservative Party about border guards and a hard border. Well, I'm afraid he's lying, as I've explained. There is no universal common travel area in Great Britain. There is just the freedom to travel within the confines of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Even then, try getting on a flight to Ireland without a passport. You'll find it very difficult. You can go across without a passport on a boat. A driving licence will do, but international travel requires a passport for flights. Now, that isn't obviously a problem if you're just crossing the border at, say, Carlisle. But if you were to get a plane, for example, from, say, Edinburgh to London, you would most definitely need a passport. And who's to say you wouldn't need a visa? Because why not? The First Minister, Mr Yousaf, backed his ally and revealed that one of the next taxpayer-funded Skexit prospectuses even would focus on the border. So it's going to be a whole load of money wanked away, £1 million wanked away on what is effectively lies, untruths and fiction. He told the pro-Indy newspaper Pravda, of course, we'll address the issue of Scotland within the European Union, and if the rest of the UK isn't in the EU, we're going to be part of the common travel area. There is no common travel area, and that's no secret. You don't need a paper for me to be able to say that with absolute positivity. You do. You are lying, or you're stupid. You've got to choose, Mr Yousaf. Are you lying, or are you stupid? They're the only two options. They're the only two options. He said, in fairness, even those who completely oppose independence, even they don't attempt to make a ridiculous argument that you wouldn't be in the common travel area. No, they've never made that argument. They've never needed to, because it's an argument that doesn't even exist, you moron. He said that would allow people to travel freely between all of the countries, including the Republic of Ireland, that are in the common travel area. No, it wouldn't. He said, but the Scottish Tories have labelled these comments blithe assertions with absolutely no foundation. Well, at least the Tories got that right. And criticised the spend on more independence papers. Another £1 million pointlessly on something that's never going to happen in my lifetime. Shadow Cabinet Secretary for the Constitution, External Affairs and Culture Donald Cameron, MSP, told the Scottish Daily Express, Humza Yousaf and Jamie Hebburn are, as the nationalists so often are, making blithe assertions with absolutely no foundation. That's his polite way of calling them lying bastards. Even Nicola Sturgeon admitted there would be serious border issues. Scottish taxpayers shouldn't have to fund absurd propaganda pamphlets that aren't worth the paper they're written on. And they're not, they're just full of absolute bullshit. Nationalist bullshit. And they know it. They know it. They have to lie. Even to their own people. Because they know the truth is so appallingly damaging. Once again. I'm finishing there and I am coming up. So the SNP do what the SNP do. They come across a brick wall in their road. They realise that this brick wall is made of facts, of truths, and it's the sort of thing that exactly stops all further advancement to their goal. And so instead of sort of saying, right, lads, we can't go any further, we'll stop, they just tell people that there is no brick wall and expect them to rush through it, like platform 9 3/4, pretending that on the other side is some kind of utopia, some Hogwartian utopia, the other side, where everything is great and everything will be magic. But in actual fact, everything will be, well, hellish. Hellish indeed. Because there will be things like border controls, passport checks, customs, duties, money. It will cost. It will absolutely cost. And you can't just walk across, and you won't be able to fly down to London like you can now. You'll need your passport and all this. And as I say, there's no guarantee that England won't insist upon a visa system, just out of badness. And even if this government doesn't, and the next one doesn't, there's nothing saying that any government in the future won't. These people don't think these things through, do they? They don't look at facts and they don't look at consequences. But they do lie. They absolutely lie. And it's quite a shift to be able to tell people one thing while looking them in the eye about a thing that doesn't exist, this common travel agreement. This was arranged purely for the Republic of Ireland coming into Britain at the time, back after the separation and then the independence in the 20s. It's a joke. These people they know that they're there. They know these things are there. And rather than tell the truth, they just lie. It's their default position. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. Need to get this one out, so do please hit the like on this one, just to show people how much the SNP lie time and time again. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, the time is coming when you can vote these liars out. Bye.